Hello and welcome to episode 52 of the Made by Mumino podcast. My name is Catherine and today I'm not filming from Mönchengladbach in Germany, I'm filming from Wales. This is my mum's craft room with a snoring dog. So yeah, I'm staying over here for a couple of weeks because my parents have gone to visit my sister and her family in California, and it worked out more economical for me to come and house sit than to get this one put in kennels. And they also have a very fluffy black cat called Otak who might make an appearance. He tends to wander around looking magnificent. So yes, anyway, this is where I'm from originally, from the Banau Brecaniog or the Brecon Beacons in mid Wales. And so I'm here for a couple of weeks trying to get some crafting done, but in reality I've had some visitors came over to see me from Germany for a few days, and I've been just really busy, so not a lot of crafting has been done, if I'm completely honest, but we've still got plenty to talk about today, so I'll take you through what I've been up to. Yeah, anything that I talk about in the episode will all be linked down below in the show notes, but feel free to comment and ask questions if you want any more detail on anything or if any of the links aren't working or whatever. I also put chapters in so you can skip over any bits that you're not interested in. And I can be found on social media, although I'm not very active on social media, but I do post on Instagram every now and again. I think I'm probably pretty active on Ravelry, so you can see all of my projects and things on there as well if you're interested in that. Let's start with what I'm wearing today. It's a very cold, wet and windy day here today up in the mountains, so I'm really enjoying wearing this jumper. This is the Art Nouveau sweater, and you've definitely seen it before if you've been watching me for a while. I did this as a test knit for Eleanor Mortensen a couple of years ago. The original is made for fingering weight yarn, and there's some lovely lightweight versions out there, but I've done a slightly heavier version. I used the same needles, so a 3.5mm or a US 4, but I've used woolly knit cones held double throughout, so it's made a much denser and lovely warm fabric. And as you can see, it's a round yoke construction with this beautiful colourwork yoke. You can't really see, but I've used two different colours in the yoke. I started off with a sort of oatmeal colour and then I graded it into a grey smoke colour, just because that was the yarn that I had left and I wanted to use up the odds and ends. So yeah, I love wearing this. I knit it to pattern. I knit the 5th size, which is for 120 centimetre bust, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's for 119 centimetres, and it goes up to 148 centimetres or 58.2 inches. So not the most size inclusive, but you could play around with the gauge and the weight of the yarn a bit if you wanted to play around with the sizes perhaps. So as I said, I knit it to pattern, and it's just a really nice, warm, comfortable jumper that I like wearing over skirts and dresses. And to be honest, in the spring and in the autumn, it makes a really nice top layer as well, even if it's not that cold outside. And it's just a really good workhorse yarn. Now, I've never debobbled this, and I knit it 2 years ago, and it's holding up really well. The woolly knit, whilst not the softest yarn in the world, is definitely very hard wearing and a good sort of workhorse yarn. I do apologise if you can hear the wind whistling, it's very loud. So between the wind whistling and the dog snoring, there's going to be some background noises. Although I will admit it's nice to be filming where it's nice and quiet, because normally I'm filming in my little flat in Mönchengladbach, and we have neighbours obviously, so it's nice not to have the noise of the neighbours. But yeah, the snoring dog instead. What can you do? The next thing I have to show you are it's a project that's not even less far along than it was when I showed it to you last time. So I'm knitting some stripy socks, and this is still the first sock. So I actually finished most of the first sock when I was in the airport, and then because I wasn't really concentrating and I was waiting in the airport for ages to get my flight here to Cardiff, and I hadn't noticed that my tension was really off. Where I was doing the stripe and changing the yarn in between each 5th row, I was getting a really big ladder. So I decided to be strong, rip it back, and I'm going to do slightly deeper stripes and actually break the yarn in between. It's to do with, for me anyway, it's probably just my technique, but with these Addy trios, I do have a tendency to get a bit of a ladder on either side where the joins are, like you would with DPNs. But to be honest, I think the ladder for me anyway is more pronounced when I'm using the Addy Trios. So I thought, right, instead of carrying the yarn down, which I think is sort of making it worse, I'll actually break the yarn in between. So I'm going to aim for about stripes about that deep, so about 2 to 3 centimetres, something like that. So they looked really nice. Between each colour change, I did 1 row of knit slip, just to get a sort of a little wiggly line in between each colour change. And they did look really nice. I didn't take a photograph, I sort of ripped them out in a fit of pique. But yeah, I just wasn't happy with it. And if you're not happy with something, it's good. Personally, I like to just listen to my gut and sort of just go with it and rip it out, because otherwise I'm just not going to be happy with the finished product. And you know, it doesn't take that long to knit a sock. But since doing that, I haven't really touched these. I'm using some lovely yarn from Garthenor for this, which is a local to me, well, here in Wales anyway, wool mill, and they make lovely organic yarns. And this is their Snowdonia sock in khaki, and I can't remember what the other colour is called. I don't have the what's it called? Tussock. That's it, tussock. I didn't bring the labels with me to save weight. So they're the 2 colours I'll be striping, and I'm using for the toes, heels and cuffs the leftovers of this tuku wool that I made some gloves with. So yeah, I'm happy with the fabric. I'm happy with now that I've ripped back and started again. And I'll just have a few more ends to weave in, but it's not the end of the world, is it? I could even break the yarn and split splice it, because there's no nylon in it. And it's not the end of the world if the join isn't exactly in the same place each time. So yeah, I might do that as well. But watch this space and I'll try and do a little bit more work on them over the next couple of weeks until I go back to Germany. The one thing I should say about the socks is I don't use a particular pattern. I just have a sock recipe with a 64 stitch cast on, and I do mine on 2.25mm needles, which seems to be about right for the gauge that I tend to knit at. But I've put a link down below in the show notes for a nice pattern if you want to have a go at knitting. Okay, so the main thing that I've been working on is I cast on my Riihi sweater. I do apologise if that's not the correct way to say it. This is a beautiful colourwork yoke pattern that's sort of Scandinavian inspired from Ronja Hakalito. And I've cast it on. It's there, it's done. I am so happy with this so far. Okay, so this is for DK weight yarn. The sample is done in Sandnesgarn Peer Gynt, so it's that kind of nice woolly, toothy wool that's reasonably quick to knit up. But I'm using a variety of different yarns for mine, and as you can see, I ended up going with 3 colours, and I'm really happy with it. I've also played around with the colours a little bit. So this part here, this was supposed to have a green background, but as you can see, the contrast is quite low. So, and also I wanted to use more of this beautiful orangey browny yarn. So I decided to change the order of the colours just a little bit, just so I could use more of that beautiful yarn. This is knit on, I think 4mm needles, so US 6. And I was really happy with the gauge that I was getting with the recommended needle size, so I've just gone with that. And oh, I can't wait to wear this. This is really soft. It's gorgeous. It's really, really nice. Yeah, so I bought this book. The book that the pattern is in is called Lakeside Stitches. I'm not sure if it's in print anymore, but you can now download this as a standalone pattern on Ravelry. So yeah, it was why I bought this book. It just really, really attracted me. The only thing I wasn't so fond of was the really long triangles down at the bottom, but by putting the white on the inside and the brown on the inside, it was kind of a deliberate decision to sort of make those points a little bit less pronounced. I put a picture up here of what the original looks like so you can see what I mean, but that's just my personal preference. I'm knitting the 5th size in this, which should fit a 126 centimetre bust. So I have about 120 centimetre bust. So it should give me at least 6 centimetres of positive ease, which is kind of what I'm going for. This comes in sizes up to 4XL, which is 156.5 centimetres or 62.75 inches. So nice and size inclusive. A few rows, so down at the bottom here, you are knitting with 3 colours. So to be honest, I'm not particularly adept at doing colour work. You know, I do it a lot, but my technique is not a standard technique because I'm a thrower. I tend to have my 3 different colours on my left, in the middle and on the right, and I literally just pick up each colour as I'm doing it. I'm not tensioning them on my hand or anything. If I turn it inside very, very carefully, you can see my floats. There we go, you can see my floats there. And I tend to pick up my floats when there's more than sort of 6 or 7 stitches, but as you can see here, I've let some of them go a little bit longer. But as it's just for me, I'm not too worried about it. I mean, if when I'm knitting colour work for somebody else, I tend to make my floats a little bit shorter, especially for kids, just so you don't get a finger stuck or something like that. But to be honest, with woolly wool like this, after it's blocked, it'll kind of start felting together as well. So I don't worry too much about picking up my floats, to be quite honest with you. Just down at the bottom here, where I think it was over sort of 9 or 10 stitches, and I thought that was pushing it a little bit too far. But yeah, I'm really happy with this so far. So you start off by knitting so I'm trying to do this carefully so I don't drop off the needles. Really should have put some needle stoppers on there, never mind. Anywho, so you start off by doing this ribbing, and then you do a few increases and then go straight into the chart, and it's a nice simple chart with quite a short repeat. So I put stitch markers in, so I marked the repeats, but to be honest, that's just because I knew I'd be picking it up, putting it down, picking it up, putting it down, because there are people here and I was going to be busy. But to be honest, if I was just sitting quietly, I probably wouldn't have bothered. So yeah, as you're doing the chart, you're just doing the occasional increase round, and you can see whether my jog is there. And then, yeah, as you're going down, then you finish the chart, and then pretty much just straight away split for the sleeves. So yeah, split for the sleeves yesterday, and now it's green stockinette all the way. So lots and lots of boring knitting. I was hoping to get it to that stage before my visitors are out, but you know, what can you do? So the colours that I'm using, the cream, that's what I've got left from a 50-gram ball. And this is Sandnes Garn Peer Gynt in colour 2511, and it's just something I had left over from another project. If you remember, I made a blue jumper with snowflakes all over it, so this was left over from that. So the weight for the Sandnes garn is 50 grams is 91 meters. So it's a DK, slightly heavier DK. But I love this yarn. It's really, really soft, and I would be more than happy to knit a whole sweater in this, to be honest. It seems to work very, very well in colour work. So yeah, that's the cream. The orangey brown that I'm using is this, and this is what I've got left from 100-gram skein. And this is the WE Yarn Company on the Dorka worsted base, which is a mixture of BFL, Falklands Merino and Svartblas, and it is 100 grams, it's 200 metres, so yeah, very much a DK. That's the label there. It's just such a beautiful colour. You can see why I wanted to use a little bit more of it. Gosh, I'm quite matchy-matchy today, aren't I? I tend to go for this colour quite a lot. But yeah, I have another skein of this. And I'll tell you what, I think that's quite a good tip, well for me anyway, is if I want to buy a special skein, because they tend to be a bit more pricey because you're buying an artisan product. Sorry, the dog keeps snoring. Yeah, you're buying an artisan product, so I can't really justify or afford to knit a whole sweater in it, so I like to get 1 or 2 special skeins and then mix them in with more affordable yarns, some more mass-produced yarns, so that I can have the fun of knitting with something that's a bit more special. but keeping the overall price of the project down a little bit. But this is gorgeous. It's incredibly soft, and I wish I could afford to knit a whole sweater in it because it's beautiful. It's really, really nice. But I have another skein of this at home, so maybe I'll make myself a matching hat or something. We'll see. And the third yarn that I'm using is this Danish yarn. I'm not going to attempt to pronounce that. And this is in the colour medium olive and is a mixture of Falklands Merino and Gotland, and it's 200 metres per 100 grams. And it's quite a hairy yarn, but again, for me, I think this is very soft. And it blooms beautifully when it's blocked. So yeah, this is gorgeous. So those are the three colours that I'm using. You will remember last episode I was toying with doing a fourth colour, and I just wasn't sure about it. And because I didn't have time to swatch before I came away, and I wasn't convinced I was going to get good colour definition, good contrast with it, I decided just to stick with the three colours. And I think it was a good decision, to be honest with you. Also, I wanted to use more of this, and that was another deciding factor, that I wanted to be able to use as much of this particular skein as possible. And I've used almost an entire skein. What is that? Probably 15 grams left, 20 grams left, something like that. I'll put all the weights and measurements and things on my Ravelry page once I've finished the project. So yeah, that is my Riihi sweater, and I'm really happy with it. My partner and I are going to Iceland for a week in March, and I'd really like to have it finished and ready to go to Iceland because I think it'll just be a really nice top layer like this jumper is. So yeah, wish me luck, and hopefully the next time you see me, it will be finished. You never know. So that's all the projects, the WIPs that I've got to show you at the moment. I still haven't cast on my knee warmers for the mal that we're running at the moment. So there's a cable mal going on at the moment, and you're more than welcome to enter any finished objects with cables up until the end of April, and all the details of how to do that are down below. So you can do it on Ravelry in the Made by Mimino group, or on Instagram using the hashtag that I'll put down here, or you can email me your pictures if you would rather do that and not go on social media. But there have been some really cool entries so far. So my first entry was a pair of gloves with some cables on the back that I don't have with me, but you've already seen them anyway. But I intend to cast on some leg warmers and sort of self-draft them, or more knee warmers than leg warmers. So I have the yarn here for it. I will be doing it. Well, I intend to do it anyway. Whether I actually get round to doing it is perhaps another matter. But yeah, I do have the yarn here to do it. But I don't have any other projects with me because, you know, I was flying, so I didn't want to bring loads of stuff, and I really wanted to focus on finishing my jumper. But I do have some irresponsible purchases to show you, and it's related to the mal. So there is a really cute little local yarn shop, goodness, I can't speak today, in Abergavenny, which is a small town near here, called the Croft, and they're lovely in there. They're really friendly. They have a great selection, lots of Rowan, bit of Malabrigo, and some other local yarns, and some other yarns from further afield. And I picked this up. This is made by a local dyer, and the colourway is called Aurora. And this is an 80% superwash extra fine merino, and as you can see, it's quite a high twist. And this is it's got 90. See, I can't talk. 15% nylon, and it says 5% gold stellina, but I think it might be mislabeled because I can't see any sparkle in it at all. So I will, next time I pop in there, so I'm going to go to their knitting group on Thursday. I will double check and ask. But yeah, this was dyed locally by Antidote Yarns, and the colourway is called Aurora. It's just beautiful. The colour just spoke to me. So this is one of the prizes. There will be 3 prize bundles altogether, but this will be one of the prizes for the mal if you would like to enter. Whilst I was there, I also picked up some stitch markers, which will also be prizes. So, try and turn these around. So here we have some little piggies and some hearts. There we go. You can see those. And these are made by one of the women who goes to the knit night as well. And they're just really, really cute. I had them upside down, that's why they weren't hanging properly. There we go. That's better. So that's one of the prizes. Another one is here. And I just love these. They're a little Tree of Life charms on them. And a third set of the same with the Tree of Life design on them there. So in each prize bundle there'll be a skein of yarn, there'll be some stitch markers and some other little bits and pieces and goodies. They had a little bit of a sale there, so they're selling off some of their autumn-winter collection to make room for the spring-summer stuff when it comes in. So I picked up this book. It was only £4.77, and it has some really cute patterns in it. I saw this cable cowl on the front, and I thought maybe I could adapt that for my leg warmers because it was about the right weight, because it's for worsted weight. The whole book is for worsted weight yarn. But it had some really, I love the shape of this. I'm not sure about the diagonal, but I like the relaxed shape of that. What else? It's a cute little shawl with a bit of a seed stitch going on there. There was something else that I liked in here as well. This cardigan. I thought it was really nice and looked reasonably simple as well. Covered in cables. Would be lovely and squishy and warm, wouldn't it? And this lovely cardigan. I love the shape of this. It's just really, really classic. So yeah, so I picked this up. I thought it's small. It'll fit in my suitcase. It's fine. Yeah, so I picked that up as well. And what else did I pick up? Oh yes, I went up, so my friends were visiting here, and we did a lot of hiking with the dogs. Not so much with her, she's quite an old lady these days, but my brother came as well, and he brought his much younger, very bouncy dog with him. And we did a lot of kilometres of walking over the weekend. I gave my knee a little bit of a rest yesterday, but it was really nice. It was really good fun. Anyway, while they were up here, I took my friends to the Brecon Mountain Centre. So there's a visitor centre up in the Abergavenny where there's a nice cafe. There's a shop there that sells lots of things from local artisans, but also you can do varying lengths of walk there that are quite accessible. And there's beautiful views of the mountains and things up there, so I like taking visitors up there. Anyway, there was also some yarn there, and this is from a local dyer, and she's actually a German lady who lives in the area, and I understand she's a member of the local spinning and weaving guild as well, because she's a spinner. She had loads of hand spun there. It's beautiful. But this is Welsh wool produced from our own sheep and goats, and it's 80% Shetland, 20% nylon, and it's a 4-ply, hand-dyed, 110 grams. So yeah, I just thought it was really, really pretty and something that's really local. So if you want to see the label, there's the label. But yeah, it's really nice in that shop. They have things from local wood carvers and basket weavers, glass makers, ceramicists and spinners and dyers. So I saw this and I thought it would make a really nice prize. So I need to pick up one more skein of yarn as a prize. So yeah, next time I'm in a yarn shop and I see something local and interesting, I will pick it up. But actually, do you know what? These will go together fairly. Oh no, that's a bit too saturated. But anyway. So that's all I think that I have to talk about today. It's quite a short episode. But after this, there'll be a little tour around the Croft in Abergavenny. And I do encourage you to go and drop in. They're ever so friendly there, and they have lots of events and things going on, and lots of community crafting groups and things like that. So yeah, it's a really nice place to go and drop into. I will try and visit another yarn shop whilst I'm here in this part of the world as well. But yeah, that will have to wait until the next episode, I'm afraid. Anyway, thank you so much for choosing to spend your time with me again today. I hope you're having a good start to the week as well, and I will see you in 2 weeks' time. Take care. Bye bye.